Well, welcome back to the plot, everyone, and what a difference a week makes. Last week I harvested 2 tubs of potatoes in the pouring rain before I made a hasty retreat. But this week, totally different. It's 21 degrees and the sun's shining. There's not a cloud in the sky, or very little cloud in the sky. It's a glorious day. So I'm going to get a few jobs done. Let's just go through what I'm going to do before we start. Let me swing the camera around. Okay, I've already gone through and sort of weeded this a little bit, got rid of about a dozen slugs. There you can just see my, let's go under the thing. Romanesque cauliflower just starting to heart up. I did actually come in here because there was a cabbage white stuck under the net. I don't know how they get in. But I released him and I've done a little bit of weeding and I got rid of about a dozen slugs. I haven't gone in this side yet. These cabbages are still looking quite good and the kale's looking good, but I can see this needs a little bit of a weed. I've just spotted a snail there as well. He's gone over the fence. That's the 2 buckets of potatoes that I emptied last week. So this week, what we're going to do, tomatoes. I am going to take all the existing tomatoes off the vines. A couple of the tomatoes I picked last week had blight, so I'm going to just take all these off and see if I can salvage in before the blight gets all the way down to the fruit. So if you look at this one, that's blight, that's tomato blight. So anything with blight on it is going to go to the tip. It's not going to go in my compost. In fact, none of this will go in my compost. You put tomatoes in your compost and you end up having volunteer tomato plants growing everywhere all over the plot. So I'm going to take all the tomatoes, and if I've got enough time, I'm going to take all the potatoes out as well, because these are all about done and ready to come out. So tomatoes and potatoes. Oh, I wish I had a bigger net. Whitefly, I don't know whether you can see that on the camera, but the whitefly has just gone crazy all of a sudden. So yeah, let me go and get the tripod, I'll put that down and I'll crack on and start pulling all these tomatoes out. Well, it's very, very warm today. I'm not complaining, but it's very warm. I've stripped all the tomato plants down. Quite a lot had blight. Some don't have blight at the moment, but they might have blight later in the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the ones I've don't have any blight at the moment, and I'll take them home and I'll put them in a tray, a couple of trays, and I'll watch them during the week. And if any show like they're having any blight, I'll just bin them. And what I do is I'll move them along from tray to tray. So I'll start off with, maybe on the left, with totally unripe, then the next one slightly blushing, then on the next tray, maybe ripe or just about ripe. And they move along each morning, every morning I'll examine them and just move them along depending on what stage of ripeness they are. And by doing this I also get the chance of having a look and catching any that's going to have blight. But let me show you what I've got, and I'm under no illusion that all these tomatoes are going to survive without blight. I would reckon that about 70 to 80, maybe even 90% of these tomatoes will have blight and will end up in the bin somewhere. So let me show you what I've got. Okay, I've got a couple of bags. Let me just tighten my camera. Okay, I've got a couple of bags. Let me just move this more into the sun. Okay, I've got this tray and I've got another bag. As you can see, I've got some beefsteak tomatoes. This one is not showing any blight. A few Roma, not showing any blight. And this is what I mean by blushing. They're just starting to change colour, where that's totally immature green, so that'll take a long time. But I've no idea how many of them are going to have blight by the end of the week. Same as in here, some orange ones, these ones are okay. I mean, that's got a split in it, but you can eat that. So a lot of the cherries are at the top because that was what I pulled out. I cut out last. But yeah, that's what I've got. Let me show you some of the other ones. Now this is blight here. If you look at the stem there, you see this brown. That is blight on the vine. And it will eventually make its way down the stem until it reaches the fruit. Then you'll see the fruit getting brown blotches, as you can see on the beefsteak as well. And on the top of that beefsteak, and on the bottom, you can see the blight there and there. And again. And this was one of the Romas. If you look really closely, I mean, it looks good, but all this mottled area here, sort of like yellow and, all this mottled area here by my finger is blight. It's sort of like mottled and blistered compared to the rest of the skin. See, that's nice and smooth and orange there, but that is sort of like mottled yellow with a little bit of brown, come to brown near the top. So there we go, tomato blight. And I've got, to be honest, get this. I get tomato blight almost every year. The trick is to try and grow enough tomatoes before the blight arrives. Unfortunately this year, with the weather we've had, a lot of plants are 4 to 6 weeks late. So if we'd have been able to harvest these about 6 weeks ago, we might have got away with it. But yeah, we've got blight. We've only started picking them the past 2 weeks. So yeah, I didn't help myself this year by not looking after the plants, and the plants growing every other way and keep falling on top of each other by the weight of tomatoes on them. So yeah, I am partially to blame. Well, I have to put my hand up and take some blame as well. But if you've got blight, yeah, there's not really a lot you can do. So I'm not going to put any of these in my compost bins. I've got 4 bags of plants and tomatoes that are going to go to the municipal tip, the council tip, and they'll go in there. They've got a much better composter, which generates a lot more heat than my compost bin. But yeah, that's all the tomatoes out. So I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do next. Okay, so it's a few days later, and as predicted, most of the tomatoes did have blight and have rotted, and well, they're going to need to be thrown away. Let me show you what's happened. Okay, these are the tomatoes that have all turned out to have blight. And these ones here, see that big beefsteak one, and even some of the red ones. So yeah, most of them, well, all of them have got blight. These are the ones that don't have blight yet, but they may have in the next day or two. I have had a few, but yeah, not been as predicted. Yeah, most of these tomatoes will need to be thrown out. So there you go. That's my disaster of a tomato harvest. I'm going to take these to the municipal tip and get rid of them from there. I don't want them going to my compost bins. The municipal tip will be able to compost these at a much higher temperature. Anyway, I don't put tomatoes in my compost bins full stop, because the seeds just start sprouting everywhere all over your garden or allotment. It doesn't kill the seeds. So these will be going to the tip tomorrow, and I'll be going up to the allotment tomorrow, and I shall be harvesting my potatoes. So I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. And I'll get the video up for Saturday hopefully, and put the potato harvest out on Saturday, because we're going to get some bad weather over the next few days. So that's it for me for now. Stay tuned, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.